All right, today we are taking notes over reactivity. Reactivity is exciting because this is how you know if elements on the periodic table are going to react, like explode, or not. So are they ones we want to use for a chemical reaction or not? So, something that we've written in our notes before, but y'all didn't understand yet, is that valence electrons determine reactivity. So when we want to know how reactive an element is, we are looking at the valence electrons. When we're talking about reactivity, there's really two things that can happen. An element can either be reactive or it can be stable. Let's start with reactive. So when we say an element is reactive, that means that it is trying to get to a certain goal of valence electrons. The goal is that all elements have 8 valence electrons. If they do not have 8, they react. So let's put that first. Reactive atoms are atoms that do not have 8 VE, 8 valence electrons. Remember, VE stands for valence electrons. So the goal to be full is 8 valence electrons. When elements have, so in that outer level, energy level, electron shell, the goal is for elements to be full, to have 8 valence electrons. If they do not have 8 valence electrons, then they are going to react. When we say react, that means they're going to combine with another element because they're another atom because they're trying to get 8 valence electrons. Some elements are a little bit reactive. Some elements are highly reactive. The highly reactive ones are the best ones to use in an experiment. The ones that are the most reactive, highly reactive, are the ones that have 1 VE or 7 VE. These ones, draw a crazy face. These ones are going cray-cray. Can you guess why those ones are the most crazy? The ones with 1 VE or 7 VE. So think about the goal. The goal is to have 8 VE. So these ones only have to gain 1 more if they have 7. Gain 1 or lose just 1 if they have 1 to be stable or to be full. Either way. Okay, so elements that are reactive are going to react because their goal is to get to 8 valence electrons. The most reactive have 1 VE or 7 VE. But anything that's not 8 is reactive, so 2 VE, 3 VE, 4 VE, they all react. Now stable is the total opposite. They have a full outer energy level. They have 8 VE. So they get a big happy face, and we're even going to give them a crown because they are like royalty. They are goals. They have all 8 valence electrons, so they don't need nobody else. So while these other little atoms are running around trying to get more valence electrons, these stable ones, they're like, we're good. We don't need any more. We already got what we need. Y'all are the ones that have to run around. So let's label our valence electrons on this little periodic table. We did this yesterday. Let's do it again. Group 1 has 1 VE, 2 has 2 VE, 3 has 3 VE, 4 has 4 VE, 5 has 5 VE, 6 VE, 7 VE, 8 VE, and then remember helium is different. It only has 2 VE. So you should be able to see which group is stable now. You can identify it. It's the one with 8 valence electrons. So group 18, or 8A, is stable. You should also be able to identify which two groups are highly, very, very reactive. Group 17, or 7A, is very reactive. Same with group 1. They only need to get rid of that one valence electron to be stable, so they are also very reactive. These other groups are all just reactive. Remember, we skipped these. So for all the other groups, I'm just going to write the word reactive. Reactive, group 2. Group 13 is reactive. Group 14, or 4A, reactive. These ones will react, but they react less than group 1 and group 17. So the most reactive are 1 and 17. The rest are going to react, but they're not going to react as much. So over group 1 and group 17, I'm going to draw a little fire flame to remind us that they react, they make big, beautiful reactions. Over group 18, I'm going to draw a crown because they are like royalty. They are full. They don't need anyone else. I'm also going to put a reminder in our notes that these do have a name. Group 18 is called the noble gases. It's another reason why I think of them like royalty. So you are going to have memorized which elements are very reactive, which ones are stable, and which ones are just reactive based on their location. That's why I always put these fire flames here, this crown here, so I can remember these ones do not react at all. Stable means they do not react. These ones are the most reactive, and then the rest of them are just reactive.